Hello and good evening, brothers and sisters. Now then, today is about can we believe what we read? Now, most of our religion and faith is based around what's been written about our people, and we trust these people have looked at all the evidence and they tell us the truth, which a lot of them do. But a lot of these people that write the books are authors. They write these books to sell, and sometimes the more controversial the subject, the more they sell. Sometimes the more they try and impress on people that they've got secrets or more information than the rest of them, different versions of the truth. The more they make the sell, the more they sell. Now then, when I first started, our first books I started reading were The Eaters from Snorri. And then I went on to, let's see what the name is, Neil Gaiman, and he does myths and mythologies of the Nordic people. And I thought, wow, he knows his stuff. So I believed in what he said. I listened to his audiobooks, I bought his books, I studied his books, and I took it that everything he wrote was true, that he followed the faith, that he believed in the gods. Now then, it's not until I look into his faith that I find out he's a storyteller. He writes books for entertainment. Most of what he passes as Norse sagas, nothing more than fairy tales out of his own mind. So, you may think, well, he's a full of our faith. You know, he studies. He makes sense. Nope. He's not a follower of our faith. Never has been. He was born in Poland to a Jewish family. He moved to Great Britain and converted from Judaism to the Church of England. And from the Church of England, which his father was part of, he moved on to Scientology. So he's now a Church of the Scientologist. Believe me, when you read about them, you see what they're really about. Now he writes a lot of, let's say, crap, like American Gods for the TV and stuff like that. A lot of his stuff is made up, and he uses the gods to make money. He writes in his books and his audio books how the gods were all backstabbing, evil people. He makes Odin out to be a bit of a psychopath. And he says, oh, these are all from the sagas. They're not. They're from his own twisted mind. They're from his will to make money. Money seems to be his only god, but he's not the only one. I mean, you look at most of our stuff that we have, and it's by people not of our faith. You know, they've got their own agendas while they're writing about our faith. Now, my attention's been brought to another book, and it goes into loads of detail I can't find other places. I'll just get the woman's name, Helen A. Gerber. Now it turns out she's a bit of a religious nut, but not of our faith. She's a Christian, with a certain sect of Christianity. Now she just doesn't write books on Norse mythology. I think she's only wrote two, but she also writes about Greek mythology. She writes them. Sorry for the beeping. I've just turned my internet on to post this video, and of course it's going to beep. She writes books on Roman mythology, Greek mythology. She tends to put more detail into her books than other readers. But when you study the only sources we have, which is normally by his story, he doesn't mention any of these. So where does she get this information from? Does it come out of her own mind to sell books? So the confusion is, you've got that Neil Gaiman and a lot of other people who aren't of our faith, who are storytellers. That's all they are. But they put their own twist on the stories. So how can we take what they say is true? So I'm very disappointed in Neil Gaiman, because when I first started following the faith, I had total belief in him. I thought this is a man of morals. Till you find out that his first marriage, it was an open marriage. Where's the morals in that? And then a lot of the stuff he's wrote is really pathetic and makes a mockery of our faith. Like the American Gods, the TV series I've tried to watch, and I just end up shouting telly. So who do we believe? Well, Snorri was also a Christian, but in those days they believed in Christianity, but they also held the Norse sagas and the Norse gods in high esteem. So again you ask, who do we follow? Well, although I don't agree with everything Snorri wrote, I think a lot of his stuff has merit. So again, where do we look for the truth? Well, we'll look for the truth in history, proven facts, proven dates, kings that existed, people that existed, sagas about Eric the Red, Leif Erikson. Yeah, those really happened. There's evidence of that. So try and look for evidence. Whenever you're going to read a book and you think, wow, this is a good book, look at the author. Sometimes it says author unknown. Then how can you believe a word of it? You don't know who wrote it. It's like the Bible and stuff like that. Author unknown. So look into the history of the books you're going to read. A lot of them have got different agendas for writing about our faith. Whether trying to put we down or make we look fools or just try and make we look mixed up. Wild people. They've all got their own agendas. So look into the history. Trust the history. Don't be fooled by what people write. And if you do find something and find the history of it and think, double check it. I'm starting to do that with every single thing I know now. Every single thing I read, I check, double check it. You've got to do that. Now, don't get us wrong. Neil Gaiman's books and his audio books are very entertaining. But they're not all the truth. Remember, he writes books to entertain. That's why his books are entertaining. And as they say about journalists, which he also was, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Don't believe everything you read. If you do read something that you're confused about, study it, look into it, try and find other sources, try and find where they've got their sources. We need to be more intelligent. And to be honest, I've just believed what I've read up to now. No longer. I'm now going to look at people's histories. The author's histories, or if I say in a group, like I used to believe in 9 noble virtues. I believed they were ancient, I believed they were Nordic. They were all wrote in 1973. So again, we're led to believe things, but when you look into the truth, you find a lot of what we think is ancient is not ancient. It's a modern version of it. The runes, on the other hand, they're true. They're ancient. There's evidence of them everywhere. Look into the runes. You'll find the stories there. You'll find the truth there. Okay, everyone. Hail gods. Hail Chia. Hail Air. Hail the Old Father. Be safe. Toodles.